To highlight some of the most humidity loving and low humidity loving houseplants because you can pick whatever plant you want, but if you know the environment that you're going to be putting it in, picking a plant that is suited for that environment is the easiest way to have it thrive. So first let's talk about humidity loving houseplants. Plants that thrive in high humidity environments are usually tropical plants. They can struggle in typical indoor conditions where there's low humidity. If your HVAC is sucking all the humidity out of the air, they will need extra care. So let's take a look at some of these humidity loving houseplants. They can be great for a bathroom, a kitchen, an outdoor area if you live somewhere steamy, for clustering with other plants, or just if you're willing to put in the work to make sure they have plenty of humidity. The first is ferns. This is my bird's nest, or no, my hurricane fern. I love this one. It's got beautiful curling leaves, and they love high humidity. They do not like direct light, so they want indirect light and they want to stay moist. So generally, these would grow under trees in the rainforest, and they like to stay pretty wet. If you have one of these, you're going to want to use a humidifier or put it on a pebble tray, cluster it with other plants. You can mist the leaves. Know that plants like this that have a core in the middle, you don't want to have water pooling in that core. It can lead to rot. So just mist the outer leaves and make sure you keep them out of bright direct sunlight, which can burn the leaves and will dry them out. The next humidity loving plant is, of course, an orchid. They love humidity. My mom collects orchids and has a ton of them, and she mists them every day. They love high humidity, they love that bright light, and they need very well draining soil. Orchid mix is just basically bark. So they like to be wet but not soggy. And it is a great option to use a pebble tray with these so they get nice and steamy in there. Or you can run a humidifier nearby and make sure they stay moist, but like I said, they need really well draining soil and good air circulation so that the roots don't get rot. The next plant that loves humidity is calatheas, and calatheas are the bane of my existence. I have such a hard time keeping them happy because they like so much humidity. They do well outdoors in the summer here, and hate the winter HVAC situation. They want really high humidity, medium light, and they want to stay moist. That's important for them. These do well in a bathroom or a kitchen where it's naturally steamy, but they do need a bit more light than like inside a shower. They do need a bit more than no light. You can mist them daily. You can run a humidifier. Keep them out of direct sunlight, which will brown their leaves. These are beautiful plants. Best of luck to you. They're very, very hard to keep happy. If you get any of these humidity loving plants, remember your options for boosting humidity. Run a humidifier, add a pebble tray, mist them, group them, or place them in a naturally humid area like the bathroom. Let's talk about a few low humidity plants if you live somewhere very dry or your house just runs pretty dry because of your HVAC situation. One of these plants might be a better option for you. Of course, we have succulents. This is a hen and chick succulent in the picture. They like low humidity, bright light, and very well draining soil. They don't want to be watered very often. They want to dry out completely between waterings. They like that bright light, and they tend to get rotten if they get too wet. See the like rosette shape with water drops getting in there. It can lead to a lot of rot, which will kill the plant. So just don't let them get too wet. Similarly, cacti, a cactus, this is a coral cactus here in this picture. They like low humidity. They are desert plants. They like direct, bright sun and sandy, very well draining soil. Just think of the desert. That's what they want. They don't need to be watered very often. They store water inside their stems, just like a camel, and they want lots of bright light. They do not want high humidity. That will lead to them getting a fungus and getting mushy, getting white furry splotches, and dying. And finally, the snake plant is a great option for a low humidity area. They do well in low humidity. They can do well with little to no light. They just need well draining soil. They don't need to be watered very often. Just water them moderately and let the soil dry out completely between watering. They can do well in bright, indirect light, but they can do totally fine in dark situations too. Just know if you put them somewhere dark, they are likely to grow a lot slower and not sort of flourish, but they will not die due to lack of light. If you have low humidity plants, just remember to avoid overwatering them. Give them lots of bright light that will help keep them dry, keep them warm. Make sure the soil is very well draining, that you have drainage holes in your pot. Be sure that your space is ventilation. You could run a fan to help keep the air moving. And place them in rooms with lower humidity levels, avoiding bathrooms, avoiding kitchens, and areas that are naturally very humid.